Yo, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be debating Muslims. Today we have a special guest on the channel. Go ahead and unmute yourself, man. Go ahead and unmute yourself. We got Critical Thomist, bro.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. So we got 7 viewers right now. We just started the live, so let's get it popping. So right now we're going to be waiting for the Muslim guy to join, or any Muslim that wants to partake in this debate. But for now, I'm just going to be reading the chats. We're so Barak. I don't know what that means. Yeah, let's go. Okay.
That was so Barak.
Yeah, for real. Goated. I know, right? Good to see you. Good to see you, bro. Oh wait, we got. Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? This will be fun to watch. Yes, sir. We're gonna start this debate live. This is gonna be very fun to watch. Yeah, we can hear you.
Is that Alex?
No. F, are you the Muslim brother on the channel?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You're Thomas Apologia.
The wizard is here to watch Aquino cook. Let's go, bro. W in the chat. Yo, so I'm just trying. I don't know who has the background noise actually, but yes, sir. I don't know who J/edits is, but shout out to you, bro. Aquino hopefully isn't late this time, bruh. Anyways, oh, he's here early. I expected. Yes, sir.
Don't kill me.
Aquino 50% Sigma. Oh my god, I'm 100% Sigma, bro. Anyways, all right. So me and Critical will be defending anything of our position, and we will be critiquing the Muslim position for any Muslim that wants to join or whatnot. But F, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience. Tell them what you are, your aqidah, your creed, everything, and your what you will be defending today. Go ahead, man.
All right. So I don't have a particular name. I don't have a particular name, and my aqidah is Athari Muthbat. And I'm going to be defending the notion that a real distinction between the attributes of God and His essence is logical.
Wait, you're gonna be defending the notion that the real distinction between the essence and the attributes are logical, so it's a logical distinction, it's not a real distinction.
No, that the notion itself is coherent.
That it's logically coherent. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. To answer your question, Thomas Apologia, I'm not gonna lie, it was just random. Didn't really select it. It was last minute. It was just for content creation and stuff like that. But where did the Muslim brother go?
Where were those Muslims that you said he was gonna bring up?
That was one of them, but I don't know where the other one's at. Hold on, I don't know.
Did he lag out? Ask
I don't
him to
know.
come back.
Yeah, let me text him, guys. I'm sorry for this. I don't know what. I don't know where the Muslim brother went. Scholastic A, yo, what's up, brother? What's up, Mason with the bone? Let me text him actually. Matter of fact, because I don't know where the Muslim brother went. He was here a minute ago.
Yeah, it was just here.
Yo, come back. Okay, I just texted him.
Come back.
But yeah, I mean, I'm honestly speaking, the Muslim was just here. The Muslim brother just was here, but I don't know where he went. So I just texted him to come right back, and we're gonna be debating. So guys, what is very important here to understand is that this Muslim brother will be defending the Athari Aqidah from many scholars of the Salafi creed. Okay, he just texted me, guys. He said, wait, I'm having issues. Let me reply to him back. He said, give me a second. Okay, no problem. We'll wait for you. And he will be defending a real distinction between the attributes and the essence of Allah. That's what he's going to be defending, and he thinks it's not composition, which obviously I disagree. So me and Critical Thomist will be defending the position that we're going to be attacking his position that his God does lead into parts and is composed. Oh, you listen up, get on my live stream now and debate me. Lol. Yeah. So yeah, we have pretty good engagement right now. We got Thomas Apology in the building, bro. Yo, Thomas, if you want the link to come up here, just let me know. It's random. Let me know if you guys want the link to come up on the stream, whatever.
Must apologia, my son, bro.
My son. We'll give this guy a few minutes to join the debate. We're gonna be seeing. Any thoughts right now? What is your thoughts right now, Critical Thomist? Do you think real distinctions in God, like the Salafi position? Oh, he's right back. Hey, what's up, brother? Do you think do you think his notion of God leads into composition? Critical?
I mean, the argument is not necessarily if it's logically coherent or logically incoherent for me. I mean, obviously it's logically coherent. Like there's no logical contradiction in saying that God's essence are not his attributes. Well, granting his position, but like the point is more so to say that I'm going to try and attempt to reduce that to a metaphysical composition, which would lead to logical problems and whatever God that you believe.
All right.
Go ahead, Ev. Go ahead. Start off with whatever you're gonna say. I don't know if you're gonna say something, but were you gonna say something?
So,
Right.
F, are you the Muslim?
Yeah.
Are you the only one? You told me that there was gonna be more.
I thought there was gonna be another one. Where's the other guy, F?
Yeah, he was not gonna delay it. He was just going to spectate.
Okay.
Let's watch
All right. So what's your argument? So are you saying that, let's just get off from the ground up.
Yeah.
You believe that Allah's divine essence, which is infinite, and his attributes are really different. So they're really different outside the mind. So the attributes are not the same as the divine essence in reality.
Yes, a metaphysical distinction grounded within reality.
That's a physical distinction grounded in reality. Is that what you said?
No, I said metaphysical distinction.
A metaphysical distinction. So
yes.
The attributes, for example, would be goodness, power, wisdom. These things are not the essence.
Yeah, they are not the essence.
What do you define a nature or an essence to be?
It's going to denote the whatness of a thing per se.
If the attributes describe what Allah is and they're not the essence, then what is it about the essence? Like, what is Allah then? Because the attributes are not Allah.
Can you repeat that again?
So you said that the essence is the whatness of a thing.
Yes.
And the whatness of things generate concepts into us that allow us to understand what a thing is. So, for example, I'm a human being. My whatness, my nature is going to be rationality and animality. The way that I understand I'm a human, right? So if the attributes are not Allah's essence, then how can you say that Allah's essence is what he is if you don't know what he is? Because the attributes are just not his essence. Yeah.
The attributes are going to be abstract descriptors that describe the essence.
They describe the essence, but they are not the essence.
Yes.
What are they describing about the essence?
They're describing it being powerful. For example, Allah is powerful through his essence, and this notion is going to be the principle of the attribute of power, and thus power signifies Allah being all-powerful.
Okay, so power signifies Allah being all-powerful, but the fact of Allah's power is not ingrained, or it's not principled from his essence.
Yeah, the essence being all-powerful to itself is going to be the principle of the attribute.
It's going to be the principle of the attribute, but it's not going to be it's not going to be founded, it's not going to be grounded in it's not going to be not grounded, but it's not going to be in the essence or intrinsic to the essence. So it's just going to be like a cause and effect.
It subsists through the essence.
It subsists through the essence, but it's not intrinsic to the essence, right?
Yeah, it is intrinsic to the essence. I mean, how do you define intrinsicality?
Intrinsic, just like internal, inside something.
That's not going to do much. I mean, can you define it more precisely?
When I say that when I say a variable is intrinsic to an entity, so like, for example, X is intrinsic to Y, I'm saying that X is internal in Y, insofar as there can be accidental intrinsicality and essential intrinsicality. So if I say that my, like the medicine is in my veins, that's accidental, right? Because the medicine is not an essential intrinsicality. But if I say that my rationality is intrinsic to me, that means that my mind is inside of me. So, but we're obviously talking about essential intrinsicality because you don't want to say that his attributes are just accidents. They're things that flow from his essence. So,
No. I
yeah.
disagree
So,
with
yeah. So his
his
attributes
attribute.
are accidents.
No, they're not. Well, actually, the entitative attributes are not going to be accidents, but essential properties that subsist through the essence. And I don't think I'm going to define intrinsicality the way you did. I would define intrinsicality as, I don't know the other, but it's defined in Atlas of Reality as when you have X because of the way it is or its parts are, then you have X intrinsically. And on the contrary, if you have X in relation to something else, then it is said that you have X extrinsically.
So you said that the entitative attributes are not accidents. So are the entitative attributes substances?
No. They're essential properties that subsist through the essence.
But they're not. They are not the essence. So are they substances? Do they exist on their own fact?
Their reality is distinct from that of the essence, yes.
So they do exist in their own fact.
What do you mean by existing within its own fact? For X to exist within its own fact?
As in they factually exist independent of the essence, since they are not the essence.
No. I disagree with that. We affirm a counterfactual dependency. That is, you cannot conceive the essence without attributes, and likewise attributes without the essence. Just like you cannot perceive paternity without filiation, and vice versa.
A counterfactual dependency is literally just like union.
No, it's not.
It's a union between. Okay, so a counterfactual dependency is when you have a necessary condition and sufficient conditions, and the necessary condition accounts for the sufficient conditions. So you're saying that the attributes of Allah are not necessary then, since it's a counterfactual dependency. You're saying that the only thing that's necessary is Allah's essence, divine essence, and you're saying that the attributes are just sufficient. But if the attributes are not necessary, in what way can you say that these are attributes of Allah? How can you say that Allah's power is not necessary? How can you say Allah's wisdom is not necessary? How can you say Allah's goodness is not necessary? How are you going to say that these are only sufficient conditions for what Allah is, and these are not Allah? This entails some sort of contingency and composition.
No, they're going to be morally necessary, as in they exist within the all possible worlds. Because, as I've said earlier, you cannot conceive an essence without its attributes, and likewise, paternity without filiation. So these attributes exist necessarily, and so the essence exists necessarily, and also the essence exists necessarily.
Okay, wait. When you said are you saying necessarily?
Yeah, necessarily.
Oh, okay. So Allah's divine essence is infinite and necessary, and you're saying that you believe in a counterfactual dependency, which is literally is like. Are you familiar with what a counterfactual dependency is?
Yeah, if C had not occurred, then B would not have occurred.
Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
With
Sorry.
the notion.
Okay, yeah.
I said I'm familiar with the notion.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my internet was bad. So, yeah. So, for the counterfactual dependency, for example, some condition A would be necessary for some sufficient condition B. So, for example, if I say that event A, if it had rained, the ground would be wet, right? And then if the next event B, the ground is wet. The ground is wet is a sufficient condition predicated or based off the fact that it rained. So it raining is a necessary condition for the ground to be wet in this instance. So if you're saying that you believe in a counterfactual dependency relation between Allah's essence and his attributes, you're saying that you believe that Allah's essence is necessary and Allah's essence necessarily produces these sufficient conditions, which are his attributes. But it would be hard to conceive of Allah's attributes being sufficient and not necessary, because Allah, we want to say that God, if he does exist, would have necessary attributes, since the necessary attributes are qualitative of his essence and his essence is necessary. The same way that I have contingent attributes because my essence is contingent and thereabouts. So it would be hard for you to say that, look, Allah's goodness and all these things are not necessary. And again, if you say that they are necessary or that they're not necessary, you have two problems. For one, if you say that they are necessary, then you're saying that there's things that are not Allah's essence or cannot be grounded on Allah's essence that are necessary and exist independent of Allah. And the only way that something can be necessary is if it's pure act. So if something is necessary and it's not grounded in Allah's essence, you're saying that these attributes that exist are entitatively pure act, but they're not Allah. So yeah, that leads to polytheism because there's going to be a genus, there's going to be a category of different beings that are essentially necessary. If you say that the attributes are not necessary and you say that they're contingent, then you're saying that Allah's attributes like his goodness, his wisdom, and these things are just contingent, which means that Allah's attributes can change, which is going to be contingent. It has the possibility of changing. Not that it would actually change, but has the possibility. But this has to be this is disregarded in philosophy because we know that if God was to exist, he would be a being of pure act. Okay, so go on. Sorry.
Respond?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
All right. So the attributes are going to be necessary and they cannot exist independently of God and vice versa. So it's not going to amount to polytheism because one of the necessities for polytheism is going to be agency predicated of those multiple eternals. So each necessary being must have a will, intellect, and etc. in order for us to say that, okay, this view leads to polytheism. And obviously, we're not going to predicate will and intellect from attributes or predicates that are abstract descriptors.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that. I would definitely not say that for an entity to be an entity, it needs a will and an intellect. Animals are entities, they don't have a will and an intellect. Rocks are entities, they don't have a will and intellect. I'm just saying that there's positive beings that exist that are not Allah's essence, but you're saying that they necessarily exist. And when you say that they necessarily exist, you're saying that their essence is their existence, and the fact that their existence cannot necessarily change. So the essence is their existence. So if the essence is their existence, they're going to be pure act. You're saying that there's a bunch of beings that exist that are pure act, and they exist with Allah. And that's just going to lead to polytheism, because all polytheism is saying is that there's not just one being that possesses pure act, but a multiplicity of beings that have the act of being pure act. And that's just going to lead to a very big problem.
No, I disagree on that. For me, for X to count as polytheistic view is for X to affirm the existence of multiple necessary beings with will and intellect, so that these will like the existence of multiple necessary agents is going to amount to polytheism.
But I showed you how a being can be an entity.
No. I'm not saying that for an entity to be an entity, it has will and intellect. I'm saying that for God to be God, or for there to be multiple gods, intellect, will, or agency is going to be predicated of them individually. And it's not the case with attributes here, so therefore no polytheism. And these attributes subsist through the essence.
Okay.
Subsist through the essence, and they do not exist independently of the essence.
Okay, wait. They do not exist independently of the essence. Okay, but they do. Sorry, is my mic? Someone said that I should fix my mic. Is my mic bad?
No, it's good.
Okay, so we have Allah, whose divine essence is necessary and immaterial. You have attributes that are not Allah, that are necessary, and they're necessary in themselves, you just said. Now, but you keep saying, oh yeah. Sorry, what?
You were saying something, F?
You
were cutting out.
No.
I guess keep going.
Okay. You keep saying that, what's it called? Sorry, you keep saying that for it to lead to polytheism, these other beings that exist within this category of pure act have to have an intellect and will. But that's not necessarily the case, at least in the conceptual order of reality. If we want to conceive of polytheism, all we have to say is that there are beings that exist that have the same state of existence as God. So polytheism could be, and there's so many polytheistic traditions that don't necessarily believe in some beings even possessing it. Some people, is definitely in the Indian tribes as well, where they believe that the being that created the whole world doesn't even have an intellect and a will. They believe that the being has a disposition. So they have it's a weird view, but the point is, because at least conceptually speaking, wait, the chats you highlight in the chats is kind of confusing me. Sorry.
My bad.
Sorry, yeah. But at least conceptually speaking, what was I saying? An entity, all it means for an entity to be an entity is a positive ontological.
He left. I think. I don't know if wait, he's back on station. Everyone. There we go.
All right.
Sorry, did you hear what I said?
Yeah, can you repeat that again? Because like my mic cut out.
You lagged, right? Oh, whatever.
Okay, sorry. All I was saying was all an entity is a positive ontological being. So positive, like existing outside the mind, ontological being that has some existence. And you're saying that these attributes are positive ontological things that exist, that do have an existence. Because I just showed you how an animal is an entity and it doesn't have a mind or an intellect. A rock is an entity, it doesn't have a mind or an intellect. A water is entity and it doesn't have a mind or an intellect. You don't need a mind or an intellect to be an entity. And I'm saying that entitatively speaking, you have a multiplicity of entities that are purely actual and are absolutely necessary for the existence. And you're saying that these attributes are not intrinsic to Allah's essence. So Allah's essence is empty of these attributes, which means that they exist in their own accord.
Wait, according to my definition, they're going to be intrinsic. Well, the entitative attributes are going to be intrinsic because I defined intrinsicality as when you have X because of X, or it's because of the way X is or its parts are. And for the other argument, a necessary being has to be concrete, right? Concrete existent.
A necessary being, sorry, what did you say?
It has to be concrete existent. Like a rock is a concrete existent, an animal is a concrete existent.
A necessary entity would have to be a positive ontological being with some existence, yeah.
No. I'm adding something to it. It has to be a concrete existent to be able to bring about an effect.
It has to be a concrete existence to be able to bring about an effect. Sorry, what?
So a concrete existent is that which can bring about an effect, or is at least spatiotemporal, according to analytic philosophy. So it's going to amount to polytheism if and only if those attributes were concrete. And
Something doesn't need to bring about an effect to exist.
no. I'm not saying they have to bring about an effect in order to exist. I'm saying that for this view to count as polytheism, they have to be concrete existence. But it's not the case that they're concrete existence, and I can prove so.
Okay, what do you mean by concrete existence? Something existing outside the mind?
No, because abstract they exist outside the mind as well, so it won't.
Abstract things don't exist outside the mind. That's literally a
That's
contradiction.
nominalism. I disagree with you, but that's another topic.
Nominalists don't believe that.
No, nominalism.
Nominalists do not believe that
That's
abstract
what he
things
just said.
exist
He just
outside
said
the mind.
nominalist. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't believe that. Nominalists don't believe that abstract things actually exist. They believe that everything that's abstract is just predicated off nominals. So nominals means names. So they're just based off names. So if I say the color red, for example, color red doesn't actually exist as a concept of redness. It's just a name. It's just a term.
Yeah, that was my point. Nominalists deny the experimental existence of abstract, but I'm not a nominalist, so I don't deny those. So,
But abstract things don't exist outside of the mind. Sorry, I don't want to hinge on the point, but you get that, right? The abstract things don't exist outside of the mind because the mind is
and I disagree with it. I'm a realist in this regards.
Okay. Are you a radical realist? I don't get your position now. Okay, so in what way does an abstract thing exist outside the mind?
That is, its reality is not grounded in the through end. That is within the mind.
the reality might not be grounded in the mind. Its reality might be in the object, but that still doesn't mean that abstract things exist outside the
Oh,
mind.
in reality, I mean, it's existent. Like the existence is created by the
So
intellect,
many
and
examples, like every example of a virtual distinction ever shows that the reality of the concept can be grounded in the object and still it's still going to be subjectively abstract. But whatever, let's just continue with your points about God. So
yeah,
the attributes are they're abstract, or what are you trying to say?
yeah, the attributes are abstract descriptors, and therefore this view does not amount to polytheism because they're just going to be in a spatial temporal. That is, they're not spatial, and also they're not causally efficacious. That is, they cannot cause or bring about an effect.
Okay, so the attributes are abstract descriptors of Allah's essence, but they don't describe anything about Allah's essence because the attributes are really distinct from Allah's essence.
I think he left again. By the way, chat, I posted the link if you guys want to come up on stage if you're Muslim, please. Muslims only. I'll let up some people. But
All right.
Yo,
Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
All
Are you
right.
back?
Can you yeah.
Yeah. So the attributes are abstract descriptors of the divine essence, but they're not. How can they be abstract descriptors of the divine essence if they're in no way identified with the divine essence because they're not the divine essence, right? Like when I say Psalms and Aquino are human beings, that's an abstract descriptor of something that's really identified in their nature, which is rationality and animality. But you're saying that none of these things are identified in Allah's nature. So how can the attributes be abstract descriptors of Allah's essence if they're not identified with the essence?
There is going to be distinguishing property between them.
There's going to be distinguished, but that doesn't really answer the question, does it?
Yeah,
Because
it
I'm
does.
saying,
They're,
yeah,
they're not identified because there is distinguishing properties between them.
no. My question is, you're saying that the attributes are abstract descriptors of the divine essence, but the thing that you're describing can in no way be identified with the divine essence. So what are they describing? When I describe something to, okay, Aquino is Dominican. That's because the idea of Dominicanism or whatever can be identified with Aquino's upbringing or cultural background or where he came from or blah blah blah. So the attributes that you're talking about can be in no way identified with Allah's essence, as insofar as they are really distinct. So in what way are they abstract descriptors? What are they describing?
So they're describing the principle as you can define a cause via its effects.
Okay. You can define a cause via its effects.
Yeah, that's going to be analogous.
I don't know.
Likewise, you describe the essence via its abstract descriptors. So the essence is going to be
When the
principle.
only reason why we sorry to cut you off there, but the only reason why we can define, I don't even know if I'll use that term, but I'll just grant you that. The only reason why it would even be possible to define a cause from its effects is because you believe in something called PPC, so the principle of proportionate causality. So every single time that a cause causes an effect, the effect is in some way contained within the cause. For example, if Aquino slaps me and I feel the heat or the hardness of the slap on my face, the hardness can be in some way founded within Aquino's hand or something. Because if Aquino's hand was paper, the slap wouldn't be as tough. So the principle of proportionate causality explains things within the explains how some effects or some property of the effect can be found in their cause. But you're saying that in no way can Allah's attributes could be found in the essence, because the attributes are really distinct from the essence. So if they're really distinct from the essence, these essential attributes like goodness, power, glory, and all those things, what is it describing about the essence?
Well, the attributes are within the essence. They're therein, but they do not occupy us and they're not spatial. So, oh wait, I forgot. Um, wait, does your humanity describe your essence? Yes or no?
Yes, the fact of my humanity describes my essence.
All right. Can something be a human and animal at the same time in the same respect?
Can someone be a human and an animal?
At the same time in the same respect, yes.
I think a human is an animal.
It's a
I would
totally
just say,
metaphysics, bro.
are you trying to
Hey,
say can someone? Yeah, are you trying to say can someone be rational and be an animal at the same time in the same respect? No, and at the same time, yes.
in the same respect, yeah.
In the same respect, no. I mean, it's very different to be rational. And it's very
Yeah.
different to be an
Your
animal.
personality is really distinct from your essence. That is really distinct from your humanity. And how is it that it describes your essence?
Animality is not really distinct from my essence. Animality is
Yeah, but
virtually
you just said that
contained in my
your
essence.
humanity is also identify with your essence. So it follows that there is a contradiction here
No,
because you said,
humanity is
no,
a secondary substance. It's not my usia. It's not my essence per se. But go on. I think I know what you're trying to say. Go on.
yeah, you said that your humanity is identified with with your essence, and you also said that your humanity cannot be the same as animality in the same respect. But you said that your animality describes your essence, but it's identify with it because it describes it.
What? I'm saying that humanity, in a way, can be identified with my essence because humanity is a secondary substance. So, secondary
That's
substances are conceptual categories that I use to find out something about an object. So, for example, all of us here are human beings. So, we exist in the secondary substance of like humanity or something. And now, from humanity, we can distinguish between each other and also find out things about each other. Like, I'm a human being, but I'm a black human being. You might be an Arab human being, whatever. Now, I'm saying that humanity in this way can be identified with my essence because I am contained in the secondary substance of humanity. But the attributes are not contained in Allah's essence because the attributes are really distinct and they proceed from Allah's essence like a cause and effect relation. So
yeah.
how did it?
What
Yeah.
does it mean for X to be contained and Y? Could you elaborate on that?
Okay, so something can be contained conceptually speaking, virtually speaking, or really speaking. Like if I have water in my container, in my cup, virtual containment, sorry, the way that I'm using it is just to say like it contains two concepts, rationality and animality. A logical containment is just to say glasses and spectacles, they're the same thing. There's no virtual distinction there because it's not grounded on the glasses. I explained this in my recent video actually. But yeah, so we're talking about the real containment. The attribute you definitely do not want to say that Allah's divine essence is infinite, but contains these really distinct attributes, because that would just lead to a union of things that are not identified with this essence, and that's just literally just composition.
It's
It's like
composition,
joining,
literally. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like joining
from that.
pepperoni. It's like joining pepperoni to pizza.
Yeah, so are you trying to say that God is composed of essence attribute? That is a unification of essence and attribute bring about God.
Yeah, for you that would be a problem
Yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah.
So to that which I respond.
Firstly, the containment is going to be real, and second, the unification of essence attribute that bring about God is nonsensical because firstly, for something to be counted as proper, for X to be counted as proper part of Y, a real distinction is necessitated, in this case, the essence is going to be identified with God, and thus the essence cannot be a part of God, but really God. So,
Okay, so the
as for
essence
the
cannot be a
attributes,
part of God. Okay,
so
go on. Mhm.
as for the attributes, hence they're abstract descriptors, they're not going to be causally efficacious and they're causally inert. And partial relationship necessitates a causal relation, which in here is lacking, and thus attributes cannot compose the essence because they literally cannot bring about an effect.
Which means that the attributes are not really contained in the divine essence, okay? Because the attributes are just abstract descriptors and they're not causally efficacious, which means that they don't possess any real being.
Is like composition.
Sorry, what do you say?
Are you like saying the real containment is going to be composition?
I mean, of course, a real containment is composition. That's literally composition is just joining together X and Y. If I contain Zan in my room is composed of both me and Zan.
Yeah, well, A unification of essence attribute bring about God. I already explained that this idea is nonsensical.
Okay, look, you're saying that the attributes are not the divine essence, and you're saying
Yeah.
that, okay, and are you saying that Allah is united of both the essence and the attributes? No, you're not saying that, right?
Yeah, so about unity. So if you say that Allah is a byproduct of the unification of essence attribute, would it follow that the essence is a part of Allah?
What if the essence isn't a part of Allah? What?
No, no, no. Would it follow that the essence is a part of Allah?
That's not the point, though. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I said that, look, the attributes are abstract descriptors of the divine essence, according to you. But for something to be an abstract descriptor, what it's describing has to be identified with the essence. But you're saying that there's nothing that's identified with the essence. For example, if I call Aquino a human being, that's an abstract descriptor, human being. But the concept of human being, rationality and animality, are really identified in Aquino's essence. But there's the concepts of these attributes like goodness and power and what they qualify are in no way identified with Allah's essence. So what are they describing? I'm not trying to show you that you have a part whole relation. I'm trying to show you that the idea of the attributes being abstract descriptors don't make sense because they're not describing anything about Allah's essence, because there's no
There's no real
identification
identity.
with it. Yeah.
Right. Like you
Right.
don't know anything about him.
Okay. So the knowledge is going to be describing your essence, and in fact, actualize your essence. And
You're
so,
just
but
you're reiterating the same thing though, don't you think? Because you're not really answering the
no,
question. You're saying
I
that the
would like
knowledge, yeah.
knowledge is identical to your essence.
Sorry, what do you say?
Are you going to say that knowledge is identical to your essence?
Okay, for my position, according to God, God's knowledge is his essence,
No, no,
because
no,
his
no.
essence.
The essence of creatures. Are you going to say that?
No, knowledge is, but your God is not a creature.
No, no, no. I'm
Hopefully,
not.
Well,
No,
hopefully,
no. I'm not.
hopefully.
I'm not conceding to that notion. I'm just asking a question.
I mean, yeah. So
I'm,
for creatures, knowledge is not going to be is not going to be completely identified with my essence, since I can
yeah,
literally
but
exist.
with knowledge, you can prove that an X can describe Y while being really distinct from it.
Okay, because I'm a contingent creature, right? I gain my
No, no, no,
intellect is
no.
go on.
I'm not considering every aspect of your existence. I'm just proving this by the way of analogy. I'm saying that it is
There's
the
no
case.
analogy here, though.
No, no,
Because
no. It is the case
yeah.
that a really distinct X is going to be describing Y.
A real distinct X is going to be describing Y.
Yeah, and for example, knowledge is going to be describing your essence and is really distinct from your essence. But in God, this notion differs because you're
No.
knowledgeable through
Knowledge.
knowledge and not
I wouldn't.
through your
No,
soul.
knowledge doesn't describe my essence. Knowledge describes the fact that I have an intellect, and the fact that I have an intellect is what describes my essence. So there's a categorical error here. When I say that Psalms or like Quino has knowledge, that presupposes that I think they have an intellect. That doesn't like, yeah.
So knowledge is not going to signify your essence. Is that correct?
Knowledge can signify my essence, but that's not what it primarily describes. What it primarily describes is the fact that I have an intellect, which describes my essence. But you're talking about Allah
Wait.
being. Sorry, go on.
Is your intellect identified with your essence?
Is my what?
Your intellect.
Is my intellect identified with my essence?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Wait, what?
Yes, my intellect is virtually identified with my essence.
Virtual. No.
Now,
Okay,
let me
go on.
give you another example. I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now. Is my sweatshirt identified with my essence?
No, it's not.
Of course, but because my sweatshirt is really distinct from my essence and it exists on me as an accident, it doesn't describe anything about my essence. So it's the same here. You have attributes that are abstract qualitative qualities of Allah that you're talking about. You're calling them abstract descriptors, but they're not
Yeah.
identified with Allah's essence in any way. So they're not describing anything about Allah's essence. So how can you call them abstract descriptors? What are they describing?
Well, they're describing the principle.
in that as well.
The principle I explained is going to be the essence.
But you're
Essence being
reiterating the same how, right? Because there's no identification between the predicates and the subject. There's no identification between, yeah.
dx. Okay, so dx is going to be describing the principle from which it proceeds.
The essence is going to be what, sorry?
Describing the principle from which it proceeds.
So now you've changed it. So now you're talking about the essence describing the principle from which it proceeds, which doesn't even go on.
No, I mean the attributes that proceeds
so-
from the essence is going to be describing it.
But the attributes are in no way defined, identified with the essence. I've given you multiple examples of how every single time that, for example, a cause and effect, every single time that you try to explain the cause by its effect is because the effect in some way, either virtually or eminently, can be found within the cause. But the attributes can in no way be found within the essence of Allah. So how are they describing Allah? It's like a goat trying to describe a dog. They're really
Wait.
distinct. There's no way that they're related. So what is it describing, right?
There was the essence of God. I explained they subsist through it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this. They subsist through it, but they are not it. So it's the same thing. But let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. Do you believe in Aristotelian categories?
Sure.
Do you believe that Allah is a substance?
Well, can you define a substance?
A substance is that which exists in itself. So
Wouldn't
like
that
for me, yeah, go on.
Okay. So are you saying that substance is a self-subsistent?
No. Some substances can be self-subsistent, but
Yeah.
no.
Then how did you
A
define
sub-
it here? You said that it exists by itself.
No, I didn't say it exists by itself. That's going to be a mistake. I said that it
Okay.
exists in itself. It exists as a subject for which the properties inhere in. For example, a
Okay.
horse is a substance. And then when I say that the horse is tall, tallness is just going to be a property that inheres in the substance of the horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue. Well, continue.
Okay, so you believe that Allah is a substance. His essence is substantial.
Well, if you mean by essence in which properties inherited, then sure.
Well, oh, you just said that the properties inhere in Allah's essence?
Well, what is meant by inherent here?
I'm asking you. What do you mean by that?
You just described the notion of inherent, and I'm asking you what it means.
What? You just said that the property.
But
You just
what
said
is
the
it?
property. You said that the properties inhere in Allah's essence. I want to
Yeah,
know
but
what
I
you
mean
mean by
that
that,
they
right?
subsist through it. They exist through it.
Okay, so when you say they exist through the essence, but they're not the essence, let's just establish that, right? Okay, cool.
Okay.
Now, Allah's essence, is it substantial?
Yeah, it's going to be substantial.
Are the attributes substantial?
Yeah, the entitative. Well, what do you mean by substantial? Does it mean that it can
I just
exist
told you what I mean,
independently?
right? Because you said that Allah's essence is substantial.
Or
Sorry, what you
does
said?
it mean that it will exist independently of the subject?
Does it mean that what?
It exists independently of the subject.
Does it mean that it exists independently of the subject?
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, in that case, I disagree. There is an
So then,
interdependency.
so then the attributes. So then the attributes would be accidents.
No.
Okay. So there's
The accident is going to be that which the subject exists without, but the subject cannot exist in this case without the
wait.
attributes.
You said that you believe in Aristotelian categories. There's only two ways a being can go. It can either go as a subject or predicate. It can either go as a substance or an accident. You said that the attributes they exist in themselves entitatively, but they are not substances. So they're going to be accidents.
No. There is more elaboration to this notion of accident. So, an accident. So you do agree that the subject can exist without an accident, right? Like for X to be counted as an accident is for X to not exist and its subject and the subject in which it adheres to exists, right?
I believe that God can subsist without accidents. Yeah.
No. That's not what I asked. I said that you believe that the subject per se exists without its accident. So an accident is that which, when is that which the subject in which
The only substance that can exist without I only believe that God can exist without accidents in its proper sense, like only God, because God
no.
doesn't exist. Yeah,
What I'm
God exists.
saying, for X to be
Sorry,
an
what do you say?
accident, for X to be an accident is
Hello.
Y doesn't have X. Y can exist without X.
Yo, can you wait? Give me a second. Give me a second. Critical, can you hear him or no?
Yeah, I can hear him now.
Okay,
Go
my
on.
bad. Continue.
X is an accidental property if and only if the subject in which it adheres to exist can exist without it in a possible world. For example, you can exist without your shirt, and that's going to be an accidental property. But in the case of Allah's attributes, the attributes are going to be essential, in as much as uh, Allah can't exist without them, and so there's like an interdependency. But do not,
Allah can't exist without them. Is that what you just said?
yeah. So there's going to be
But they are not Allah's
interdependency.
essence. So Allah's
No.
essence cannot exist without something that is not his essence. That's dependency.
Yeah, that's not going to be causal dependency, rather.
It's metaphysical dependency though, because you're saying that Allah's essence cannot exist without
That's something
things that are
else.
not his essence, right? That's
Right,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
also
still a
kind of
dependency.
dependency.
But brother, let me just explain for the stream, right? A counterfactual dependency is still a kind of dependency, right? And that's the point. That's the problem, that God cannot be dependent upon literally anything other than himself. And what you're saying is that he's dependent on something other than himself. It doesn't matter if it's a
Right.
congruent. It doesn't matter.
Right. That's why we say that God is a say, but it seems like you don't accept that, because you're saying that Allah's essence cannot exist without these things that are not his essence.
Yeah, it's going to be interdependency, not causal
Bro,
dependency.
even
Because
if interdependent, it doesn't solve the problem. Don't you understand?
yeah, it's not going to
Because
be causal.
you just agree,
The
no, you
attributes
just
are
agree
not
the
going to
attributes
correlate
are
with the essence.
yeah, we just agree the attributes are different from his essence. Then
Yeah,
even if he's interdependent with them, he will still be dependent on something other than himself. That's not a safety.
Yeah, you can understand this notion like this. You cannot conceive an essence without its attributes, and vice versa. For example,
That's not what you said.
okay, yeah.
You said
So
that
I have
Allah's essence cannot exist without these attributes. Go on, but what was your
yeah,
question?
yeah. The point is that you cannot conceive Allah's essence without
That's
these
not what you
attributes.
said. You said that Allah's essence cannot exist without these attributes. That's your
Yeah, and I
position.
think that you cannot conceive it
Wait,
without.
but didn't you just say interdependent? Do you know what interdependent means?
Yeah, you just said it's interdependent as well.
Yeah, the attributes cannot exist without the subject, and the subject cannot
Okay,
exist.
that's what he's saying.
Okay, right.
No.
So
Yeah.
stop trying to change it to conceive. You talk about what metaphysically is. You're saying that it's metaphysically the case that
in this sense means it's going to be signifying conceivement. That is, you cannot conceive essence without.
that doesn't even make sense.
What?
Bruh.
That doesn't make sense
Bruh.
because okay, that doesn't make sense at all, right?
what
Because
doesn't it make sense?
it doesn't make sense. Interdependency doesn't apply to the conceptual order. It only applies to the metaphysical order, right? When something can be logically or metaphysically dependent on something, but the only thing that can be interdependent would be something that metaphysically exists. So you're saying that Allah's essence is interdependent on his attributes. You said that Allah's essence cannot exist with his attributes. You change it to conceive. But even then, you already accepted that Allah's essence is interdependent on his attributes. Christians say that God is ase. He's independent. He doesn't need anything that is not his essence to exist. You're saying that Allah's essence necessarily depends on things that are not his essence to exist. That's the problem.
Yeah, and by this dependency, I meant as conceivement.
What? But you just you keep changing
But
it, bro.
but not only is he changing it, I just showed you that how that doesn't make sense. Interdependency
But you
applies
just
to
switch it around. You just agreed upon this that you meant
yeah.
existence, and now you changing it again to like conceiving. Like choose one, bro. And conceiving doesn't even make sense, so it doesn't help you in this situation, bro.
You cannot conceive or understand an essence without its attributes. So that's what I mean.
Bro, what? You're lost. Like this is actually cope. Like
All right.
Can you invite your other Muslim friend, please? Or is there any other arguments you have against Christianity? Because I think this one is sorted.
Yes.
No, I don't have anyone to bring either way.
Okay, Splash, welcome on stage, brother. F, it was good talking to you, brother.
It was nice talking to you. Yeah.
I'm gonna root from stage now. Good chat.
Wait, should we just continue on the same topic so it's like good for the views?
Nah, I think. I
mean-
mean, it depends. Splash, do you have any question for Christianity, or do you want to stick on the same topic so I can go through
Right,
that
it's
with
up to you.
We could stay on the same topic because, like, I just really want to know your arguments against Islam.
you? Okay, I don't necessarily build up argument. I don't really care about the religion. No offense, anyways. I just don't. But the argument that he brought up was that Allah's essence is interdependent on his attributes. You see why that's a problem? Because interdependency metaphysically entails that Allah's essence cannot exist without his attributes, but the attributes are not his essence, as he just said. So that's just literally just going to be dependency and contingency.
Well, wait, how would you define dependency and contingency here?
So contingency exists when a being is divided of two principles, essence and existence. The existence of a being is distinct from his essence, and the attributes of a being is distinct from his substance, whatever distinction it is, apart from like a logical distinction. So the point is that the essence of Allah is really major rule, which means that it's outside the mind, distinct and not the attributes that define Allah, according to him. But if the attributes of Allah and his essence, however, still depends on the attributes, if Allah's essence depends on something that is not his essence, there's going to be a dependency relation there. And he just said that's an interdependent relation, meaning that the attributes depend on the essence and the essence depends on the attributes. If the attributes depend on the essence and the essence depends on the attributes, then that's just going to lead to metaphysical composition, because composition exists it exists in a dependency relation. For example, what's it called? Pepperoni depends on pizza in the sense that in order for me to make pepperoni pizza depends on two things: pizza and pepperoni. In order for me to make pepperoni pizza, the pizza and the pepperoni are interdependent. I need the pepperoni on the pizza, and I need the pizza holding the pepperoni. That there's going to be a union there that unites the two. Since the pepperoni pizza was imperfect and it was perfected when I joined the pizza and the pepperoni. If Allah's essence depends on something that's not his essence, it was perfected when you enjoined his essence with the attributes that are not his essence, which would thus lead to composition here.
Well, the whole thing you're saying with dependency, I don't think it would like mean that Allah is going to be contingent because his attributes don't have its own existence. So like him depending on his attributes, it wouldn't really make him contingent because they exist by virtue of his essence.
But the attributes are not his essence.
Yeah, but they exist by virtue of his essence.
It doesn't really, I mean, everything exists by, if you want to be a theologian, if you want to be accurate, everything would exist by Allah's essence in your view. But that's not the point. The point is that the attributes are not the essence. If the attributes are not the essence and Allah's essence depends on the attributes for its existence, then that's going to be a metaphysical problem.
Yep.
Wait, could you expand more on that? Because I don't really see why that would be the case.
I just showed you. I gave you an example of pepperoni pizza. Someone said it's haram in the comments, but it is what it is. It's an example.
No, he's Christian. He was just joking, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. But yeah, the example is to signify that if you have a particular entity X and it requires Y and Z in order for it to be perfected, and the union of Y and Z perfects entity X, then X would be only perfected by the union of Y and Z. If you have pepperoni pizza and it's perfected by the union of pepperoni and pizza together, then it's only perfected when you unite pepperoni and pizza. If you have Allah and Allah is perfected when you have the essence and the attributes together, meaning that the essence cannot exist without the attributes, then you're going to lead to a metaphysical composition there, because there's going to be a dependency relation between his essence and his attributes, which I might make a video on later. But yeah, that's going to be a problem. We don't say that we don't say that the Son, the Father, or the Holy Spirit depends on anything extrinsic to themselves. It's called ad extra in Latin. So anything outside of itself for its existence. Allah, I said Allah, go for it. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are eternally perfected in their own essence, and they subsist forever and ever.
Yeah, but like I was saying, that's basically what Allah, depending on his attributes, would boil down to. It would just be a self-dependency, because these attributes depend on his self. Like you were saying with the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, they all depend on each other, right? Because like they're relational. But
they don't depend on each other.
No,
Wait,
no,
but
they don't depend on each
all
other.
right, that's my mistake. All right.
Definitely.
but your boy just said that they're interdependent as well. So he said that the essence cannot exist without the attributes.
Yeah, but it's gonna also be the other way around. The attributes can't exist without the essence.
Okay, but
That's fine. That's the
I
objection.
don't think you're answering the point.
It's flat. Would you say like the attributes share the same existence as Allah does?
Yeah, like that. Allah's essence is the existence of his attributes here.
Oh,
Okay,
let me ask you this.
that doesn't make sense, because he said that the attributes are not the essence.
Yeah, true.
I know, but their existence is going to be the same as the essence. Like the existence of the attributes is the same existence as the essence.
Wait, like what do you mean?
Yeah,
Like
I think he's trying to say that the existence of the attributes exists the same way as the essence, like the same way that me and you exist at the same time. But the point is that
wait, doesn't that like what do you believe in like Islam with like do you think essence and existence is gonna be like one and the same as God, or it's gonna be like the same?
yeah, I think Allah's essence is his existence.
Then how isn't that problematic?
that's divine simplicity then.
That's literally divine.
Wait, how isn't that problematic by saying that the attributes they exist in the same way as the essence does, and the essence is identical to existence? Isn't
Right.
that going to be like some sort of like transitivity?
No, I don't really see how that would like violate it.
Wait, so you say the attributes are identical to the existence that the essence also has, right?
No, I'm not saying I'm just saying it shares the same existence.
Yeah, what does it mean to share?
Like it partakes in it.
Okay, sure. So the attributes partake in the same existence. Wait, but you just said existence and essence are going to be like one in the same in God, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're just basically saying like the attributes are like they partake in the divine essence,
Yes.
but they're not identical to it.
No, they're not identical.
So how are they like distinct? So they partake within it and they're also like distinct from it.
Well, I don't see what you're trying to get at. Like I don't understand what you're asking.
When you say like partake, you don't mean like identical, right?
No, not like they're identical.
Okay, sure.
So wait, what is identical? Sorry.
I was saying that Allah's essence is identical to his existence.
Allah's essence is identical to his, so that's literally divine simplicity, right?
Well, I mean, maybe if you define divine simplicity like that, I don't know, but
Divine simplicity is just saying that Allah's God's God's essay is identical to his essay, like his what do you call it? Sorry, because I'm confused now. Yeah, his essence is identical to his existence, because God's essence. A lot of people don't understand what an essence is, and that's why they say, "Oh, this like." An essence is the principle of action in a thing. In order for you to have a principle of action, the attributes need to be identified with the principle. I would not be able to act if I don't have the ability to run and walk and all these things. So the ability to run, walk, and all these things are identified in me as an individual being. So the essence is the principle of action in a thing or nature, and God's principles his subsistence from all of time. There's no time in which God did not exist, and there's no time in which God received his existence from another. So God has always existed in himself, through himself, by himself, which is just going to be subsistence. This is why when you get very technical, a lot of people don't say that God exists. They say that he subsists. He subsists, he continues to exist. He never not existed. So that is divine simplicity, saying that God's essence, the principle of his action, is his action, which is his existence. But your friend here was saying that Allah's essence is interdependent on the attributes that are not his essence, which is just going to lead to a metaphysical union of two things that are really distinct. That's going to be composition.
Well, I don't know what he meant by that. Maybe I don't know if he's still here, but like in the chat. But
Probably he's in the chat.
Is there any questions you have for Christianity though?
Not really. I mean, I guess I'd just like to know more about like the Trinity and stuff.
What's up? What's your questions on it?
Like, can I like give an argument and then see how you would like respond under your view?
Go on.
All right. Well, are you familiar with like pure essay opposing pure essay argument?
Oh my god.
Okay, go
All
on.
right, gang.
All right. Well, can you just address it? I'm assuming you already know like how to respond.
So,
right?
so the essay in and the essay add are virtually distinct. And if things are virtually distinct, they can retain their distinct virtual functions. So it wouldn't be essay in opposing essay add. That's just there's gonna be an error. So, for example, I'm a rational animal. Rationality and animality are only virtually distinct in my essence. However, they're major virtually distinct in the idea that rationality doesn't explain what animality is, and animality doesn't explain what rationality is. So rationality and animality, even though they're virtually distinct in my essence, they have distinct functions, distinct virtual functions. Like if you ask me, how did I think? I'm going to say my mind, I'll point to my soul. If you ask me, how did I feel? I'm going to say it's my skin, or I'll point to something else, like my sensation. That's going to be predicated on my animality, and the idea of thinking and all that stuff is going to be predicated on my rational soul, even though these two are virtually distinct to me. So the essay in of the divine essence has a distinct virtual function from the essay add. The essay in possesses the persons and possesses the relations. The essay add is the foundation for the procession of the relations, but they still retain the distinct virtual functions. So you can't collapse the relative opposition between the persons to the essay add. It's going to be ridiculous, right?
So essay in and essay art are just virtual distinct, right?
Yeah, essay in and essay add are virtually distinct in the divine essence.
But then how would you get a real distinction between the persons?
Because a relation by nature. Okay, do you know Aristotle's categories?
I know of them, but I don't know like the definitions.
So there's this seventh property that he talks about, which is called a relation.
Mm.
So there's different types of relations, but to put it simply, the relation that we're talking about here is going to be a substantial relation. So it's a relation that exists in the essence. The relation here, a relation is going to be an order between a subject and a term. The subject is the father, and just for example here, the term is the son. Now, I'm going to explain the Eastern Orthodox are not going to like it, but it's whatever. The subject and the term is going to be, the subject is going to be the father, the term is going to be the son. Now, the way that the term proceeds, however, comes from a formal perfection or a natural perfection in the essence, which is going to be the intellect. That's what we call the Son, the Word of God, because he proceeds from the intellect of God and he retains the Word of God, right? Now, the Son proceeds from the property of the intellect by virtue of the Father, the same way that heat proceeds from fire by virtue of combustion or something. So, in this sense, the Father precedes the Son. Now, fire and heat are going to be really distinct because I can be hot without necessarily being on fire. So fire and heat are going to be really distinct, but the heat proceeds from the fire by virtue of combustion. The same way that the Son and the Father are going to be really distinct by virtue of the procession, and the principle that caused the procession is going to be the intellect, which is primarily appropriated to the person of the Father. Now, the Holy Spirit proceeds from a different property within the essence, which is the will, the desire to will love, or to flip it, will the essence, will the good. So the Holy Spirit proceeds from the will, but keep in mind that the Father and the Son have already proceeded. So the Holy Spirit now proceeds from the Father and the Son, or from the Father through the Son, properly speaking. And he comes forth from the Father and the Son. And that explains how the person of the Holy Spirit, the person of the Son, and the person of the Father are all really distinct, because each relation, each order between the subject and the term, so the Father and the Son and the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, maintain that real distinction because of the way that they're related to each other, right? And that's just going to be it. So here we have oops, what that guy say? Yeah, but do you get the point though? Before I move on, do you get the point, Splash?
Yeah, but wait, can you say the thing again? You said, I heard you say like the Holy Spirit's distinguished from the Father's will, but what was the Son distinguished by?
The Son is distinguished. Okay, whoa. They're distinguished by the way that they're related to each other, but the properties that cause the procession are going to be different. So the property is the intellect, and the other property is the will. The property of the intellect causes the procession of the Son, and the property of the will causes the procession of the Holy Spirit, which comes forth from the Father and the Son. So that's how they retain their relational differences.
Oh, yeah, I get it now, yeah. All right, thanks.
Yep.
Yep.
Any more questions, or you have another thing on the Trinity or whatever? Because whatever it is, we can address anything else as well.
I don't think I really have any other questions. That's all I wanted to ask.
Cool.
Say it again, sir.
That's all I wanted to ask. I don't have any other questions.
Okay, cool. What other people do we have in the chat?
I don't see any.
Let me read the chat. I'm sure the Jewish was helped to deal with the past.
Yo, CT.
Yo.
Wait, what is your Discord?
Critical Thomist.
That's his user, I think.
Because I made like an arc. You need like read it. I used it on someone. He tried to refute it, but not. Right. Critical.
It's funny how the Muslims won't join, bro. We'll see. I mean, once you're a Taymian, you're pretty much believing in God being composite, so it's fine. But what happened?
What are you saying?
No, I'm just saying like the Muslims worship a composite God.
Oh.
But anyways, that essay for everyone in the audience, right? That essay in essay odd objection of the what's it called? The pure essay opposes pure essay is such a dumb argument. Critical Thomist has a video on that. Astro came on my channel, refuted that.
Or
what's up, bro?
You know when they say like is the Father the divine essence, is the Son the divine essence?
Lol.
And then do they oppose each other? Yes, so the divine essence opposes divine essence?
Yeah, that's the pure essay, yeah.
Yes, like that's the same thing.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Like what do they understand when we say like oppose? Do they actually think like
well, the reason why they say this is because they think since the relations in God are really identical to the divine essence, right? Mm-hmm. They think that since they oppose each other relationally, that the divine essence has to somehow oppose the divine essence. But Critical Thomist just refuted that again. So I mean, it doesn't work, right? SA in is not SA odd. SA odd is a relation, right? It's not the same thing. So
true.
Yeah. Let me read the comments.
All
I really wanted was a rolly. Huh? Wait. Bro, these comments are so crazy, bro. They're arguing. Like, what's up with these people?
My shit is XYZ.
Oh, I really don't know. But yeah, bring any Muslims, fine. To be fair,
the whole debate X guy or your fraud thing's pretty ridiculous.
I don't know who this Uwe guy is. but he's welcome to come up and get destroyed too. Don't tell me it's Isa, because if it's a Isa, there's an argument I've been wanting to run on these retards for a while. Let's see. The Taymians aren't the only ones affirming real distinctions. I just diss you guys the most because you guys are the most retarded ones out of Islam.
Which ones?
The Taymians.
Damn. What are like the other ones?
I mean, anyone who's Sunni and doesn't affirm divine simplicity is just ridiculous. But yeah.
Wait, we didn't
Matter of
that
fact, I'm gonna bring Dr. Halil and Danny on the channel, guys. We have something cooking up, and any Salafi, any Sunni, come up and just come on the stream and we can talk about it with Dr. Halil and Danny. We're going to absolutely embarrass the Sunnis that affirm this type of creed that is denying ADS. I don't know who that person that you guys are mentioning in the comments is. I don't know who that is. I don't know what they said, you know. I don't know. Whatever. Critical Thomist, I'm better though. Dang. You see Critical, you got ops, bro.
Lol, Mason.
Oh, we have a question. How can we reconcile the Trinity with Leibniz's law of identity, even though Leibniz himself doesn't agree it applies to the Trinity? You want to answer that, or I can answer? It doesn't matter.
I made a video to that. It's like, I think it's my second most recent video.
Great. Okay. So yeah, keep going.
Like, the fact that Leibniz doesn't agree is how you can reconcile it, because if
100%.
If you see the reason as to why Leibniz doesn't agree, let me just read the quote real quick. Let me go on my laptop. The quote is, wait, where's that quote? Yeah. Okay. One should say then that there are relations within the divine substance that distinguish the persons from each other, since these persons cannot be absolute substances. But one should also say that these relations must be substantial, and that they are not sufficiently explained by simple modalities. Also, one should say that the divine persons are not the same concrete being, under different denominations or relations, as one man could be a poet and an orator, but three different concrete relative beings and a single absolute concrete being. Thus, when in the symbol attributed to Saint Athanasius, it is said that the Father is God, the Son is God, and the Holy Spirit is God, and yet there's only one God. It must be admitted that if this term or word, or if this word or term God was always understood in the same way, both in naming three, each of whom is God, and in saying that there is only one God, there would be an untenable contradiction. Therefore, one must say that in the first case, the word God is understood as a personal divinity, of which there are three, and in the second case, as an absolute substance that is unique. So Leibniz draws a distinction between the term God as understood as a personal divinity, in which there are three, and in the second case, as an absolute substance that is unique. So what we do is we read Leibniz, and then the scholastics go, let us conceptually categorize this. What we do is that there's a distinction between formal and material identity. So material identity is just how something is real in reality. Like formally real, materially real is going to be like, for example, Aquino's body. That's real in reality. It just exists outside the mind. Formal identity is going to be the identification of something with an idea. Forma in Latin means idea. So it's just going to be something that's real in the order of idea. So yeah, in this case, obviously the properties that distinguish the procession of the persons are only going to be formally distinct in this sense, not in a Scotus sense. They're only going to be formally distinct. And yeah, again, you're going to have relative opposition that is founded upon these properties, and that relative opposition is going to make, or is going to be the ground for the real distinct persons. So
Yep. The formal and material identity I know already. Okay, cool. Just wondering about Leibniz's law.
Oh yeah, so you basically import the formal and material identity into Leibniz knowledge. So you can say you can distinguish Leibniz knowledge two ways. So if X is identical to Y, anything said of X is said of Y, you could say that formally speaking, anything X instead of Y. And you could say that materially speaking, anything X instead of Y. You get my point, but
Yes,
it
sir.
wouldn't follow if this material entity has different formal properties. That's where it wouldn't follow. So it would follow if the material entity has the same formal property, like flipping, I don't even know, cat and animal. A cat is an animal. But it wouldn't follow if this entity has different formal properties. For example, I'm an animal, but I'm also rational. Those are two different formal properties. So the point is that, yeah, the properties in the divine essence are all formally distinct, and they proceed if they're formally different, but there's materially the same, or they have one entity, then the argument against the Trinity just won't follow. In it. What's this guy's question? Can you break down created grace?
Where do you see that question? Oh, my bad. Can you break down created grace? Be right back, guys.
Not everyone accepts the idea of created grace, but the Catholics do. So created graces are just going to be graces that that are not necessarily like they're not in the divine essence. They're fashioned from the things that God has made. So an example of created grace is like the graces that make or expose someone to be justified. So for example, like if God ordered Aquino to give me the gospel before I was Christian, that's a created grace. Insofar as God had ordered Aquino to give me the gospel, which Aquino still did out of his free will. But when I actually get justified, when I actually receive baptism, that would be like efficacious grace. It wouldn't be those type of graces in that sense. Wait, let me drink water. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, take your time. You're good. Yo, Zan, what's up, bro?
Yo, what's up, bro?
Chill.
Yo, what happened the other day, bro?
Which guy?
What happened the other day, bro?
I don't even know, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
You got jumped by like 10 Muslims and got refuted.
Oh, I didn't get refuted. The thing is that they challenged me to a composition debate in God, and we were debating that, and none of them really could answer the question, so they got mad and kicked me out. So
I wasn't even referencing things. I was just trolling, but yeah, that's funny.
oh no, I'm serious. They actually did do that. I'm so serious. I didn't know you were trolling, but yeah, it happened like I don't know how long ago, but yeah. It was like,
okay, sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
drank. But what was I saying? Yeah, so the grace that I just described about Aquino giving me the gospel, whatever, is going to be something called prevenient grace or gratia preveniens, whatever it's flipping called in Latin, how it's pronounced, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be prevenient grace, the grace that disposes me to justification. But created graces could also cause my justification, because what created grace essentially is going to be like the transformation in the soul of a person after God has granted his grace to a particular person. So the difference between Lutherans do not agree with this, by the way. But the difference between created grace and uncreated grace is like uncreated grace is going to be the Holy Spirit indwelling in someone, or God's own indwelling in a place. And created grace is going to be like the effects of this indwelling presence in the soul of someone. So God's uncreated grace is identical to himself. It is himself, insofar as since God exists, that is uncreated grace. But created grace is the effect that God's uncreated grace has on us. And obviously, this can be divided into two. You can have sanctifying grace, which is just going to be that grace that makes us, that we receive in baptism, that gives us a permanent effect, which is a state of grace, making us holy and righteous before God. And then you can have actual grace that allows us to perform good things to do. Like every single time we do a good work, God actually gives us grace. Yeah. What's the verse where it says that? God is working in me both to will and accomplish in the Pauline epistles. So that type of grace that we receive is going to be actual grace.
WW. Let me question: in what sense can we know anything about God? Is he constrained by the laws of logic, or is he above? But wouldn't that make him?
Okay, in what sense can we know anything about God? So we can know something in different senses. So we can know things virtually, we can know things evidently, we can know we can know things in different ways. Wait, can you keep the question on the thing so I can continue
Yeah,
reading?
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We know God by abstracting from the created things that He's made and using the concepts in this abstraction to sort of conclude a particular being with these perfections innate in themselves. So, for example, I can see a lot of wise people. God has created all these wise people like Socrates, like Aristotle, like the church fathers, like Aquinas, whatever, and um, analogize that if there was a being with an intellect, that his wisdom was going to be far greater than all these people. I didn't know that his wisdom was going to be far greater than all these people from the being itself, from looking at the being. But I only knew that from looking at all the wise people that exist and concluding or trying to imagine how wise God would even be. So that's gonna be called analogical knowledge. I'm abstracting from the things that are made and concluding things about this being that I know that exists from the things that are made. And I'm trying to imagine that, oh yeah, if this being had this, that would be so cool, blah, blah, blah. So that's going to be analogical knowledge. God is not constrained by the laws of logic, because all logic is an art, or what's his name? Henry Grenier, Dominican theologian, expresses this in his book, Thomistic Philosophy. I've forgotten the exact page, just the first article where he talks about logic. Logic is an art. An art is something that you do for an end or for a purpose. So we have an intellect, and our intellect contains concepts or forms that are principled from the divine ideas of God. So, for example, like if I say Aquino's wife or whatever is beautiful, beauty comes forth from the divine idea of God's essence, which is beautiful. And I have that form in my intellect, and I look at Aquina's wife and I see that he possesses some version of the form of beauty. And I say, oh yeah, Aquina's wife is beautiful. That's going to be the form. That's the formal concept. Logic allows me to deduce certain conclusions from formal concepts. And this is an art of my intellect. This is not something that is like a ontological property of God or whatever. So the laws of logic are going to be principles that proceed from God's divine ideas, but logic itself is just going to be an art that we use in order to conclude things from the forms that proceed from the divine ideas.
Yeah,
I
so we can
don't,
just say it's like a reflection.
yeah, I don't want to be too technical, but where's the question? But okay,
Actually, I clicked the wrong one.
yeah. So no, it wouldn't deny the principle of non-contradiction, because throughout eternity, because God's nature is identical with supreme order, God has eternally decreed that that there's going to be a real distinction between being and non-being, insofar as God exists and God is not nothing or something. So and God's decree is his essence, by the way. So before someone says, oh, but before God decreed that, no, God's decree is his essence. So God's essence has eternally decreed that there is order in being, right? Now, if there's order in being, obviously order presupposes the negation of non-order, which presupposes the principle of non-contradiction. We only call it the principle of non-contradiction because we want to call it that. Simply, all non-contradiction is that being cannot be non-being, and obviously God has eternally decreed being, and so that just evidently shows that being is not non-being, and so we just conclude from then on, from God's eternal decree and his divine ideas, the principle of non-contradiction exists. And yeah, like that's how we reason to certain conclusions in a good manner, in a good way. But no, it wouldn't mean that God denies the principle of non-contradiction, since God's very being has eternally created. But I don't want to be too technical for you. Sorry.
Good. But so you would agree. So in a way, you could say God is identical to logic, right?
No, you could say that God. No, because logic is an art.
In
Like,
no way.
no. In no way. Logic is an. That's like saying God is identical to that painting, right? What you could say that God is identical to is that he's identical to the divine ideas that allow us to make sense of logical principles. But you can't say that God is identical to logic. That wouldn't make sense. They would laugh at you, scholastics, if you say that.
Right.
Do you guys really want me to debate Dean? Are you serious?
Bro, I think they're referring to Aquino. I'm not sure. But Aquino, didn't he like refuse?
Yeah, he did refuse.
Why?
Debate him, bro. Debate him.
Give me a second, Critical. Take over the live, bro.
Oh, down.
I need to take care of something. It'll be real quick though.
Oh, you getting robbed.
Nah, I'm definitely not debating Dean, bro. That guy, he
Right.
came to me saying that he wants to debate, and when he said that, when he came to me and he said he wants to debate, I asked him, okay, when do you want to debate? And then he said, in 3 weeks. I'm not waiting
Bro,
3
what?
weeks.
Yeah, so
Who does this guy
basically what
think
he-
he is?
Wait. Then basically
Bro.
what he did is like he first want to see if you actually want to debate him, and then he's actually gonna get like ready for the debate.
Yeah, like, I don't understand the guy. The guy is giving me the excuse that, oh yeah, he's going to uni, whatever. I go to uni. Sorry, I go to college. I did electrical installation. I do YouTube, which is actually very strenuous. I give students free classes in my Discord server, which is also strenuous. I study as well. I exercise. I do all these things, and I can still debate you if I want. There's no reason as to why you're gonna
You
have
acting
to.
like uni is like prison. Like,
Yeah, like 3 weeks. I understand a week. 3 weeks? What? It's giving me a month to debate. Like, what the hell?
Hey, this is right.
I wish we had a dollar in that time, bro.
Wait,
He was giving you a month to debate.
we CT look in DMs. Or look in your requested DMs. I send you like our.
Okay.
No way.
let's see.
No way. You're using Jake's argument? Jake literally cherry-picked St. Justin. No. Over.
If two expressions are identical to Kalam Allah, bro, Muslims are genuinely, they have the weirdest theology. I've never seen Muslims debate on things like grace or works or things like that. I've just never seen that. It's always just, Christianity and things like that.
Yes,
They don't get too
but
theological.
Right. I never seen like a. Oh, always when I see debates between Christians and Muslims, it's always on the Christian position. Like I never see like on their position. I don't know
What are
why.
you saying, Sanctus, bro? Sanctus, when are we gonna do that collab? That's the real talk.
Sanctus. Wait, do you know that one GIF about Sanctus, like with the 7,000 books?
Nah, let me see.
Bruh, I'm not gonna lie. The greatest Thomist to exist is John of St. Thomas, bruh. Not gonna lie.
Based.
Yeah, for sure.
The greatest Thomist to exist is John of St. Thomas.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, you guys, nah, man, I'm not sure about that. Dean respond. Wait, let me see this. Why can't I not highlight the chat? What?
I don't know. It doesn't give you perms? Here, let me try and give it.
Highlight Nick Gang's chat about
Gang.
Dean.
This one.
Oh hell no! This guy's profile picture is tripping. So Dean responds, recent video stupid. He says that the Trinity is illogical, but doesn't state which laws. Selects passages and doesn't and don't explain, just highlights the part he agrees with. Yeah, Dean is just, he's cooked, man. He's cooked.
Didn't like Sig call him Diddy?
Did who? Sig?
Yeah.
Bro, you guys are saying Sig made that. It was in the Insta comment. Someone said Diddy Dean, and then everyone took it.
Yeah. Bro, I
Bruh.
thought Sig made that, bro.
Nah, he didn't make it, bro. He's capping.
But that's
I thought-
actually funny.
I thought he made that name too because when I was talking to Sig, he was like, "Oh yeah, when Dean refused to debate Trinity versus Tawhid with you, put the title as Diddy Dean," and I was like, "All right." So I thought he made up the Diddy thing.
But he's a LARP.
Diddy Dean.
Diddy Dean. We might make a reaction video to Diddy Dean's videos. Me and Thomas Apologia. That's gonna be probably a next collab with another YouTuber that I have. Today was Critical Thomist. It wasn't even planned. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Today was like completely random. I just told Critical, hop on, let's get on live, this and that. So we just kind of co-work together today. But the
Wait,
next,
what do you think?
what happened? Go on.
What do you think about that one video Thomas made?
What video?
Like the one like logical problem of the Quran.
Oh, I watched it, but I don't quite remember it. I have to rewatch it again. But I think I don't know what that was, but I'm pretty sure he was doing. I forgot the argument exactly how it went, but
Like he's saying like
he was
the
cooking.
Kira odds. He says like so he has like the Kira odds, right? He says like the watch version is identical to the Quran, or like is the Quran, and then with the other Kira odds, right? Other two, and then he says
Yeah.
they're not each other, but they are the Quran, and right? That's basically the argument.
Oh, okay.
So basically just LPT, but just
For the Quran. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a good argument. I like it. I think your argument is really solid too. So
Bro, if actually, bro, I'm gonna like strengthen it because I used it on someone, right? And he says they don't agree upon like he doesn't agree upon the Kira odds being identical to Kalam Allah, right?
sure.
But what I mean by because there's like they make a distinction between like Kalam al Nafsi and like Kalam al Lafzi, right? So Kalam Nafsi, which be the uncreated Quran, that's like with Allah, right? And Kalam al Lafzi is the created temporal representation of the Quran on earth, right? So just a temporal representation of the Quran. But he says they're not gonna be like identical. But even if he says that, that doesn't like refute the problem. Because I can just change that to like pure representation. Like if it's a representation, it must contain like the essential meaning of its source, right? And I can still argue from there. Doesn't matter. Give me 1 second. All right.
Anyways, what were you saying?
Me?
Oh, wait. I was gonna ask you. Do you want to present your argument here on the problem of the Quran, if you will, or do you want to save that for a different time? It's up to you.
Yeah, I can. I can represent this. Not many people watching. So, so basically, I'm just like not gonna say the whole syllogism. I'm just gonna like sum it up. So basically, the argument is if Qira'at is identical or pure, a good representation of the Quran, right? Then it must contain all essential meanings. There's a contradiction between two Qira'ats, right? In the verse of the Quran, chapter 37, ayat 12, right? There's a contradiction between the Warsh and the Khalaf version, the Hafs and the Khalaf version, right? Where one states that Muhammad wonders and the other states Allah wonders, right? by virtue of that, the essential meaning changes, and therefore, if the essential meaning changes, these two things cannot be one and the same in reference to Kalam Allah. Therefore, there's like two Kalam Allahs, or yeah, contradiction. Therefore, two Kalam Allahs. That's basically like the argument.
I low-key think it's a valid argument, I can't lie.
Yeah, but even if they say, because I use identical, but since they make a distinction between kalam nafsi and kalam lafzi, they can say no, it's not like literal identical, but it doesn't solve the problem because the qira'ats are still modes of the uncreated Quran, right? They're just the temporal representation of it, and the representation is perfect, right? So even if you disagree on the major, right, you actually still agree with it. I can just change it up by saying like representation. Like it doesn't solve it.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. What's your next video, Critical?
Well, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can.
I actually don't know. You guys should give me some ideas.
Oh, we got Puda on stage, bro.
Yo,
Hi.
Yo, what's good, Puda?
what's good? What's good?
Bro, you came late. The Muzzies ran away. We had Issa in the chat too, trying to like throw insults and stuff.
Mm.
Wait,
Akino ran. Akino ran.
Jihadist wanted to join. Didn't you see that?
What did you say, bro?
Jihadist wanted to join like the stage.
Jihadist?
Yes, he was in your chat. You didn't see that?
He wasn't on stage, bro.
Yeah, he said like, what's the link? And then you put the link in like 2 messages after. But he didn't join.
LOL.
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 Can you pull up what's his name? Lorenzo's comment.
Which one?
What's the point of saying Muhammad is in the Bible if the Bible is corrupt anyway?
Sure, yeah.
Yes, I think something that relies on this is because so it's kind of stupid because according to Surah 61:6, it says that Jesus spoke about a prophet coming after him, and so they'll try and reconcile that with trying to prove Muhammad's in the Bible. But even when we debunk all the arguments saying that Muhammad isn't in the Bible, they just appeal to saying that the Bible's corrupt anyway. So it's really just it's just really like baseless. It's a baseless argument because even if we debunk it, they're gonna say, well, the Bible's corrupt anyway. I'm not too sure if that's a fallacy or not, but yeah, it's kind of stupid.
Bro, the argument is just cringe, all of it.
Real.
That has to be one of the worst arguments I've ever heard for.
Like, what is the best? Like, what's actually the best argument against like Christianity?
Trinity, 3 gods. Boom.
Tough, bro. That one is tough.
It's
Yeah, so
divine
Aquino.
simplicity means that God is stupid.
Oh, wait a second. Aquino.
Akino gets that.
Yo, what's up, bro?
Yeah, can you define SAN real quick?
What did you say?
Can you define SAN?
Yeah, let me be Jad real quick. SAN is obviously being in.
W. That been being in. Or this could be translation. Who even does that? It's like me saying, what up, Allah?
Say it's Lorenzo, bro. Say it's
Define
Lorenzo.
Allah. Hello.
It'd be so funny if my school friends were on here. That'd be hilarious. I was just going to school the next day.
Buddha, we need to get
Hey,
you.
you're on the live stream.
No lie.
Huh?
You're gonna get jumped.
Real.
Bro, my school friend is legit in my Discord. Like, it doesn't matter.
Dude.
Yes,
You
bro.
can never catch you. You can never catch you doing that.
But I'm like, but I'm not crazy, bro. I don't say crazy stuff. It's just like, just religious conversations. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. My school is predominantly Muslim though, so like
You see, he's in the
Yeah.
chat right now. He said, "Zan, bro, I'm your biggest fan." That's him.
Damn, let's go. I don't know. Yeah. It's hard. Christianity is the minority in my school. It's like me and two other guys who are actually apostolic. I mean,
You said what?
it's only me and two other guys who are actually apostolic Christians. Crazy. It's crazy, man.
Crazy.
I would never invite them to myself.
Yo, Aquino.
Yeah, bro, what's up?
All right, I'm gonna leave now, right? But
All right, for sure. I'm just probably gonna end the stream right here, guys. So, if you guys enjoyed it, please
All right.
subscribe, like, and comment. Go check out Critical Thomist channel.
yeah,
I'm just gonna end the I'm gonna end the stream right here because I got stuff to do anyway too. So, it was a good chat with you. Yeah. Anyways, go subscribe
nice
to
chat.
this.
W's in
See
the
you
chat.
guys later.
See ya.
Yeah.